Unfortunate that because the two things happened, first of all. One party took over the labor movement, which is one of my favorite movements also. And then it became a regional party, more than, whereas it was a marvelous breach into the established two camps. Peter Obi achieved something remarkable there, that he broke that mold. Yes, however, he did not win the election. In addition, my own organization has a monitoring unit. You know the one I'm talking about. And so I could say categorically that Peter Obi's party came third, not even second. And that the leadership knew it. Well, they wanted to do what we call in Yoruba, gbajue. That is, you know, you have force of arms. You also have force of lies. And it was gearing up towards violence. They were going to send, some of the hardliners were going to send crowds, young people, into the streets to demonstrate. I'm always ready to be among such demonstrators, but only on the banner of truth, not of lies, not of deceit. In addition, and this is the worst part, they didn't know it, but they were being used. Before the elections ever took place, there was a certain clandestine force, a reactionary. It included some ex-generals who were already calling for an interim government before the elections began. And so the party was playing into the hands, maybe not consciously all of them, but some definitely, trying to create a situation to bring back the military. That's what I was against. And before then, I'd already sent 3 emissaries to the leader, to that leader, saying, curb your supporters. Just tell them to be on their guard. If you lose an election the first time, what does it matter? And I said, you just tell them to stop threatening, to stop intimidating people. So it wasn't something new. It wasn't something spontaneous. No, I had to stop their getting the youths on the street to be slaughtered. And for what? For a lie. This for me was unacceptable. About this person in whose name is a colloquium series been inaugurated. You see, many people know Bola, many aspects of him, but me, I treasure personal, very. As you know, he was a fugitive offender, like many of us here, many other things, former governor of Lagos State, but you see, and a businessman, or some of us within the anti-Abacha movement would not have survived. But then even for businessmen, successful businessmen, there comes a crunch. And during our period of exiled resistance, we looked for all kinds of means to raise funds, including even trying to print redeemable bonds. I think we did print redeemable bonds. We were so confident of victory that we said, look, let's print bonds and sell those bonds, and the opposition triumphs. And we designed those bonds. Incidentally, you may not remember this, apparently the symbol that we used during that time, which was supposed to be symbolic of growth, because it was a shrub. Apparently, that shrub looked very much like marijuana. We didn't know it at the time. Somebody pointed it out later on. But finally, Bola said, what are we going to do? We have to find funds. I said, well, you're the businessman. What can you do? So, well, I've heard that there's a rice line between Taiwan and other places. I think that I can get a contract to sell rice between Taiwan and Africa. So I said, well, okay, go ahead and sell rice. He said, yes, but you see, they require letters of recommendation. And I said, well, so you have to write one. I said, me, I don't know anything about rice. I don't know anything about business. Nobel laureate, write and say, we're trading in rice. Give the letter to me. I will take it to the government of Taiwan, and they will supply the rice. I will sell. I will use the money for the revolution. Then, after I came, we all came back. My house had been more or less made inhabitable, and I took a sort of pied-à-terre, a small place in Lagos where my house was being fixed. I began living there, but I found the work was so slow, so that I stayed in Lagos for some time. So I got this bare house, which was in fact destroyed already, and the owners wanted to get rid of the house, fortunately, reasonably cheap. And so we moved in there, in this unfurnished place, and suddenly a vehicle rolled up, and what did it contain? In fact, I thought it contained rice, leftover rice from Taiwan, but it was pots and pans. I mean, what more essential thing do you require if you're moving into an unfurnished building? You need to cook. His wife, Remi, sitting there, had thought about these details and sent pots and pans and fridge or whatever to the house to enable myself and my family to survive until my house was repaired in Ogun State. And there are a few other things, but I won't tell them here. I was delighted.
Welcome to my channel, where we discuss everything and all things politics, especially about the 2023 presidential election held on February 25, 2023. And real quickly, the two videos you watched before now were two videos of Professor Wole Soyinka. The first one you watched was the interview he granted in South Africa in a program where the Nobel laureate, Professor Wole Soyinka, slammed the Labour Party, Peter Obi, for trying to force lies. He said for trying to force lies on Nigerians as regard the winner of the 2023 presidential election in Nigeria. That is the issue I'm addressing. And in this video, you are going to find out the reason. The two videos will tell you two things. The first video is Wole Soyinka showing his true colors. Showing his true colors as a very sentimental person. Showing his true color. This is Wole Soyinka talking, not as a Nobel laureate, not as a professor, but Wole Soyinka as an emotional being, defending the indefensible, lying to protect his own personal interest. The second video shows you the reason why he has to lie against Peter Obi so as to protect his friend who he has benefited a lot from the second video. In the second video, he was talking about Tinubu as his friend, as his comrade, somebody who took care of him when he was in need, somebody who, when he came back from exile, his house was in tatters. He don't know what to do. Tinubu take care of his domestic needs. So it is like a payback time. He want to pay back to the reward. He want to pay Tinubu back for what he did for what Tinubu did for him. That is what it is. It is not Soyinka talking as a Nobel laureate. It is not Soyinka talking like a professor. It is a Soyinka talking as an emotional being, as a tribal being, as a regional being. So that is basically at the root of the whole matter. But we are going to look at the lies that he told and distill it carefully so that Nigerians will know that he is a total disappointment. That he is a total disappointment. Okay? Because he is somebody who has been held in high esteem, but because of his own selfish interest, because that is selfish interest, because of his relationship with Tinubu, because of his personal interest and relationship with Tinubu, he wants to deceive the world that Tinubu won the election and that P2B did not win it. Even though in the video he didn't say who won it, but you can tell from the second video where he was coming from. I'm sure many of you have not seen this video, but that is why we are here. That is why this channel was created, so that things that you have not seen, you will see it. Things you have not heard, you will hear it, and we will hear it with facts and figures. That video does not. That video, the second video, where he was eulogizing Tinubu, was at the fifth colloquium of Bola Ahmed Tinubu colloquium, where he was the chairman. Soyinka was the chairman. So when Soyinka is talking about this election, he is not talking about it as a neutral person. He's talking about it to protect the mandate that INEC had handed to his friend, to his comrade, to somebody who has helped him, to somebody who has taken care of him when he was helpless, when he don't know what to do, when he don't know where his next meal will come from. This man helped him. This man provided for him. This man took care of him. So he felt burdened to reciprocate. This man now is in a situation where he has gotten a mandate that people say it was stolen. So Soyinka has to do everything within his power to project him as having genuinely won the election, despite all the facts on the ground. And we're going to look at some of the things that Soyinka himself said that's supposed to be an embarrassment even to himself, because coming from the background he came from to now become somebody who can easily see black and call it white. Okay, so we're going to look at his interview properly. Then before we now take a glance at the second video where you now that expose him for who he is and the reason why he was making this intervention on behalf of Tinubu. Okay. So that you now understand that whatever he's telling you is not true. He is talking from a position of bias because of his relationship with Tinubu. Because what Tinubu had done for him, what Tinubu has helped him to achieve. Okay, so take note of that. Soyinka was not talking as a Nobel laureate. He was not talking as a professor. He was talking as an emotional being, as a tribal being who is desperate to protect one of his own, whose mandate had been called to question by Nigerians and even the international community. Now, the Nobel laureate, he used the opportunity of a program that was held in his honor in South Africa, titled The Lives of Wole Soyinka, a dialogue that was organized by Africa in the World in Stellenbosch, South Africa. And of course, the person interviewing him there was Professor Ndibe. Okay, maybe he was part of this group. Okay, so it was that program that I don't know what led to him talking about the election. But I think it was important for him to talk about the election because he know that he was being recorded so that Tinubu and co will see that he has done them a favor. Okay, he has done them well. Now, he said that one of the lies that he told was that the leadership of the Labour Party knew that his presidential candidate, Peter Obi, lost. Which of the Labour Party leadership know that they lost? So they know that they lost and they went to court to waste their money. They went to court to try their luck. Is that what Soyinka is telling us? Perhaps Wole Soyinka don't know who Peter Obi is. Peter Obi is not a waster of resources. I've said it several in this channel. If Peter Obi is aware, if Peter Obi was sure that he didn't win this election, Peter Obi will not spend a dime going to hire lawyers, senior advocate of Nigeria, who cost a fortune for you to hire them to go and pursue a matter that will end up achieving nothing. So it is a lie from the pit of hell from Wole Soyinka to say that the leadership of Labour Party they know. Because when you talk about what is the leadership of Labour Party, it is Peter Obi that is the leadership. Forget about who is the national chairman of Labour Party. Forget about who is the treasurer of Labour Party. Labour Party is what it is today because of Peter Obi. Labour Party is where it is today because of Peter Obi. So if you're talking about Labour Party leadership, that they know they did not win, you are saying that Peter Obi knows that he did not win. And I believe strongly that even the money that they use in going to court for this election is Peter Obi that is funding it, not Labour Party itself. I can tell you for free that it is Peter Obi, his supporters that are funding it, not Labour Party per se, as a political party. So Peter Obi will know that he did not win and then he will go to court. Peter Obi can never do anything like that. So it's a lie from Wole Soyinka. Let him come and bring the evidence to show that Peter Obi know that he didn't win and then he went to court. Peter Obi can never do anything like that. Peter Obi is a man, I have said it severally, who made his money like other credible rich men around the world, like Warren Buffett, like George Soros. These are the kind of people that Peter Obi, you can class Peter Obi with. People who made their money genuinely and they don't throw it around anyhow. They can't use it to go and give lawyers to go and try your luck. No, Peter Obi can't do that. So that is another lie from the pit of hell by Wole Soyinka. It is not true. It's not true. Peter Obi can never be a money waster. Peter Obi cannot be throwing money around to lawyers to go and try their luck. Peter Obi believes strongly that he won the election. And there are strong indications that he won the election. Look at all the Peter Obi won 90% of all the polling units in military installations in Nigeria. No other candidate came close to him in military installations in Nigeria. And this is a man that took Labour Party to national level. And Wole Soyinka was saying that Labour Party was turned to a regional party. Come on. As another lie from Wole Soyinka. How did Labour Party become a regional party? Labour Party that Peter Obi used in winning in South-South, South-East, North-Central, getting 25% in so many states in the far north, in Kaduna, in Taraba, in Adamawa. He says he's made it a regional party. what was Labour Party before P2B entered? In the 2019 election, the Labour Party presidential candidate, Wan Mohammed, got only 5,000 votes. Only 5,000 votes. Labour Party presidential candidate in 2019. P2B, despite all the manipulations by the INEC, P2B got over 6 million votes. And he won in Southwest, winning a big state like Lagos in Southwest. And you say that Labour Party is a regional party. Come on, and you are a professor. What kind of professor is that? What kind of professor is that who talks without the information? Because perhaps he's not even aware that P2B won in North Central, won in South, South, and Southeast, won in Southwest, and he's calling it a regional party. Does he know what is a regional party? A regional party was like what Alliance for Democracy was in 1999. It was what the Alliance for Democracy was throughout until it has become a party that I don't know whether it's still in existence. The Alliance for Democracy was a regional party. Even Buhari's party that he used a margin with ACN was a regional party. But P2B took Labour Party to the national stage and he remains there, winning in the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. And he's calling it a regional party. Come on. Can see the lies in that interview. All because he was desperate to please his friend, to validate the mandate of his friend, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who he has benefited a lot from. Of course, you see in the video there, he said that there are so many other secrets he said he don't want to reveal. So their relationship was deeper than you can imagine. So that's why he came out to intervene. Not because he came out to tell the truth. It was to protect Tinubu's mandate. That is what it's all about. Nothing else. If you are in doubt, that video is supposed to convince you. Now, he said that, look at what he said. He said, the recent election, two things happened. First of all, one party took over the labor movement, which is not my favorite movement, and then made it a regional party. Come on. Labour Party was nowhere until P2B came in. Labour Party was a regional party and was only very strong in some states in Southwest because of Olusegun Mimiko, who used it to become governor in the past. But for that, Labour Party was nowhere. And as I told you, the last presidential candidate that they had in 2019 got only 5,000 votes nationwide. You can go and check the result of the 2019 presidential election and see what the Labour Party candidate got. Today, because of Peter Obi, they have people in the National Assembly, senators, House of Reps. They have a governor. But for the rigging that was done, that characterized this election, Labour Party would have even won more seats in many parts of the country. Continuing, he said, whereas it was a marvelous breach into the established two camp, P2B achieved something remarkable there, that he broke that mode. However, he did not win the election. So who won it? Who won the election? It's President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. How did President Bola Ahmed Tinubu win it? Who voted for him? Who are the people that voted? So Nigerians voted for APC. after what they passed through under APC. Under APC, they have 33% unemployment. Naira was at its lowest ebb. Nigeria became the poverty capital of the world. Over 63,000 Nigerians were killed. Price of fuel skyrocketed. Unemployment skyrocketed. And you think that people voted for APC? Come on. There's no way people voted for APC. No way. In a free and fair election. No way. If INEC had not sabotaged the transmission of that result, presidential election result, Peter Obi would have won that election and everybody would see it real time on IRIF of INEC, but they sabotaged it. Even the winning that Tinubu won, it was challenged. It's just that the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal were not honest with themselves. A professor of mathematics was able to show that they used 18,088 blood resource sheets to allocate 2.5 million votes to Tinubu. If the justices of Nigeria were in another clime where transparency is the order of the day, they would have subtracted that 2.5 million vote from Tinubu's 8.7 million vote, and he would no longer have the highest number of votes scored in the election based on the INEC tabulation. In any case, why is it that INEC has not uploaded the whole result of the presidential election up to today, with which they declared Tinubu the winner? And if INEC is not sure of the results, which made them scared to upload all the result of the presidential election up to today to the INEC IRIF, why should Wole Soyinka say that he can categorically say that Peter Obi didn't win the election? How can a professor who has supervised people, done supervised research work, say that he can say categorically that Peter Obi did not win? Is he an official of INEC? Is Wole Soyinka an official of INEC? Where did he get his information? He said he has a group that monitored the election. What is the name of the group? Why didn't he reveal the name of the group? When did the group submit its report of the election? Did they make it public, or they just did it quietly for Tinubu, for Soyinka's eyes only? They showed him that Peter Obi didn't know. He came at this time, he came third. And you can see the vexation in his face when he was talking. The vexation in his face. I don't know what is eating him up about Peter Obi and the obedient movement. You can see the vexation in his face. Go back, watch his composure. The vexation in his face. He said that Peter Obi, that he didn't even come second. We know from the allocation that INEC did, we know they didn't come second. But there were evidence that Peter Obi presented, and many of us have seen it, to show that he was the one that came first. He was the one that came first. He said that what they did was to deceive Nigeria. He said that is what is called in Yoruba Bajru. That is force of lies. No, the force of lies is from Tinubu that he supports, who didn't win the election and can still pretend that he won, who knows it, that he could not have won this election. You saw recently there's a visit of Rivers State people who visited him, and he was confidently praising himself and the delegation that Soyinka brought, that they won Rivers State. Rivers State result that even the BBC has independently tabulated and showed how P2B won it. Premium Times, a Nigerian newspaper, online newspaper, has also tabulated to show how P2B won Rivers State. But Tinubu was in the villa and was proud to say that the Soyinka and others voted for him and he won Rivers State. That is what they call the Baju they are talking about, whatever it means. That's the force of life. And Nigerians know it. Nigerians know it. And they themselves know it. They can feel it in the street. They can feel it in the street. That people are not excited about them. People are not excited. The only people that get excited about them is just people who want to collect money from them. People who want to look for what to eat because they have used poverty as a weapon to pauperize Nigerians. So people are looking for how to get one thing or the other from them. But in reality, there's no passion for them. There's no passion for them. The kind of love that Nigerians show to P2B on the streets of Nigeria, nobody can show it to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu unless he pays money for that. Not even in the streets of Lagos that he governed for 8 years, where he lost woefully. Because if he was a good candidate, Lagosians should be the first to know, and they would have been voted for him overwhelmingly. P2B would not have defeated him there, despite all the alleged manipulations. So they are the ones that do the Baju he was talking about. There was no lie. Labour Party, as I told you, P2B is a man of integrity. P2B is a man of integrity. If he did not win this election, P2B will not contest it. That he's contesting it is a clear evidence that he won. And the numbers evidently showed it. But for the manipulation of the election, as alleged, okay, look at the European Union report. It shows clearly that the election was manipulated. So if the European Union, with all the resources at their disposal, with which they observe the election, can say that that election is nothing to write home about. So where did Soyinka get the resources to fund those, his NGO he was talking about, that is linked to him, to be able to monitor the election? I remember the last time when he came back, he claimed that he was out of the country. But now it suits him to claim that he has people who monitor the election all over the country. And they told him categorically that P2B did not win. Another lie he told about against P2B was that P2B wants to use the youths to cause violence in the country. P2B that was calming nerves. P2B that was epitome of decency both in the campaign and after the campaign, both during the election and after the election. P2B was an apostle of turning the other cheek. He was the one that was emphasizing that the law should be followed, telling the youths to relax, telling you youths to take it easy, telling you youths to accept the result, that he is going to appeal, you're going to go to court to challenge it. P2B has a lot of support on the street. If he had opened his mouth and tell them that they will not agree. I remember this David Hunduye, respected investigative journalist. He said that if the roles were turned, if it was Tinubu that has the kind of support that P2B has on the street, and Tinubu's election was stolen, he said that Tinubu will not call for peace the way P2B called for peace. That Tinubu would have mobilized his supporters to the streets. And you can't doubt that. Look at how Tinubu kept quiet when violence was going on in Lagos, when they were ethnic profiling people from southeast in Lagos. He kept mute. He didn't say anything until when they achieved their aim of Sanwo-Olu winning the election, or so they claim by INEC. Then that was when Tinubu now came out. But already, when all his lieutenants were almost turning Lagos, on the verge of turning Lagos to another Rwanda, profiling people, going to houses, telling them don't come out and everything. Tinubu was aware of it. He can't say he was not aware of it. All the violence in Lagos, he didn't say anything until after the governorship election in Lagos State. So you can agree with David Hundiye that if the roles were reversed and it was a Tinubu's election that was stolen, and Tinubu has such a popular support on the streets of Nigeria like P2B does, he would have called out his boys on the street. And this is the same man that Soyinka said that he wanted to unleash youths on the street of Nigeria, and that he want them to be killed. Nothing could be further from the truth. And why does he have to do this? All because he wants to make sure that Tinubu's election is not upturned. Perhaps the Supreme Court will listen to him and say, okay, if people like Wole Soyinka are saying that the election is okay, why not we roll around with the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal and give a clean bill of health to Tinubu's announced victory by INEC. It's unfortunate that a professor could lie so brazenly. So brazenly. It's amazing. Another lie he told was that, as far as I'm concerned, it's a lie. He said that P2B and the Labour Party was used by retired generals to foist interim government, and that they were aware, and they were not aware that they were being used. Which generals used them? He should have been. Why is he hiding the names of the generals? Since they are retired generals, what stops him from naming them? So they were being used. The issue of interim government, it was the APC themselves that started this issue of interim government. It was governor of Kaduna State then, Malam Nasir El-Rufai, in a state broadcast where he was protesting about the change of currency, the scarcity of fuel and everything else. And he said that there were plot at the presidency. He said at the presidency that they are plotting interim government, that they don't want the election to hold, that they have already pursued a retired general to take over in the interim government, that they don't want the election to hold because they don't want Tinubu to win. That's what he was. That was El-Rufai was alleging in a step. I have shared that video in this my channel. So what is Soyinka telling us that there are some retarded when El-Rufai was already telling us that the matter of interim government was from the presidency. So it's the presidency that was using P2B. It was the presidency that was using Labour Party, and they are not aware. When did the Labour Party ever mooted the idea of interim government? The interim government came to the political lexicon in this dispensation through the mouths of APC. Even the now national chairman of APC, Ganduje, as governor, he was also mouthing the same thing. that they are plotting to force the interim government. That there are some powerful blocs in the presidency who want to force interim government. So what had that got to do with the Labour Party or Peter Obi? As far as I'm concerned, Soyinka was just throwing lies up and down to justify the election of his brother, his comrade, his friend, who they shared a lot in common, Bola Ahmed Tinubu. That is basically what happened. That is the essence of his intervention. His intervention is not altruistic. His intervention is not in the interest of Nigeria. It is in the interest of Tinubu. It is in the interest of their relationship. Nothing more, nothing less. Any other thing you think about is you are just deceiving yourself. Anything outside the fact that Soyinka intervened in this matter for his own personal selfish interest and that of his friend, as well Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Anything further than that, then it means you cannot comprehend what is going on. That is why I brought the two videos for you. Maybe perhaps you have never seen that video before. That second video, that fifth colloquium, Bola Tinubu colloquium, where he was chairman. That is where he revealed everything. You know, before I show you this video, you have seen where he pretended to be neutral ahead of the election, pretended to be neutral after the election. But when he betrayed himself, you can see his countenance when he was talking about Apito Obi did not win. It was the same countenance he displayed when he came back and was challenging the vice presidential candidate of Labour Party. Dati Baba Ahmed. Go and watch that video. It's the same countenance because he was furious that Dati Baba Ahmed had the temerity to say that Tinubu should not be sworn in. That it will be no different from military being sworn in if they swore in Tinubu when Tinubu did not meet the constitutional requirement. It was that kind of vexation. That's what he displayed in his last interview in South Africa. You can go and watch that again. So his interventions are basically to ensure that Tinubu's mandate, nothing happens to it. Having won at the appeal court and the thing has gone to the Supreme Court, he has to re-emphasize that. He has to come out smoking so that the Supreme Court justices will know that, look, we are backing this man that he won. But is he backing him based on truth? No, not on truth. It is based on their personal relationship. It is not altruistic. It is not in national interest. That is what it is. You can take it or leave it. That is what it is. Soyinka spoke not out of national interest, just as he intervened in lampooning Dati Baba Ahmed. When Baba Ahmed said that Tinubu should not be sworn in, he intervened that time basically because of Tinubu. That time he intervened, people were misled into thinking he did that for national interest. No, it was not for national interest. It is because of the interest of his friend. That's basically what it is. Now, following that, his intervention, there are two Twitter messages that I think I should share with you here. One was from Omo Brainy Shola Ireni Temi, who goes by the name at Abiola Aseko. Look at what the person wrote. He said, no one can be seen to say categorically, this is the person's reaction, this is his reaction or her reaction to Soyinka's statement that P2B, that he can categorically say that P2B did not win. This is what this uh, lady said. He said, no one can be seen to say categorically that someone didn't win an election if the person cannot show proof of what he asserts. It is on Prof to show us why his assertion is true. Was he in the 36 states monitoring the election, or has his agencies, were there reports that affirmed what he said? Okay, he said, was he in the 36 states monitoring the election, or his agencies, were, or a report affirmed so? Of course, he didn't tell us the name of the agency which has the resources to do all that, which he said is linked to him. He cannot prove it. And the professor should not be talking things he cannot prove. Then this Lawrence Ayokoro, who goes under, who writes under hashtag, writes at Lawrence Okoro PG. He said, why does Wole Soyinka feel so comfortable saying terrible things against P2B? He claims P2B was mobilizing youths for protest, while in truth, P2B was the one telling the youths to keep away from protest. Youths are blaming P2B for not allowing them protest. Wole Soyinka is saying P2B was mobilizing youths to protest. Thank you for watching this video. And if you are new to my channel, you have not yet subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to my channel, hit the subscription button, hit the notification bell. When you subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell, anytime I have a new video, you'll be among the first to know. God bless you. And please don't forget to like this video, because when you like it, Google will rank it high and recommend it for more people. Thank you, and God bless you and yours.